How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Critics' Choice sale right now. As you guys know, some flack towards this sale. I can kind of understand why a lot of expensive games, but that's where this video comes in. We're going to be looking at games under the price of $10, and there's actually quite a few good ones that I think you guys should check out. You know, a lot of these games maybe you already own, but we're going to go over 10 games. Maybe you can find something good for yourself and pick it up at the cheap. I do think there's going to be a new PlayStation Store sale starting within the next couple of days, so be on the lookout for that. That's just my guess. Maybe I'm wrong about that, we'll see. But let's get right into this video, and let's kick things off with arguably the best deal a part of this sale, and that is the Batman Arkham Collection for $8.99. If you have never played any of the Batman Arkham games, or you missed out on, let's say, the early Arkham games, or you want to revisit the early Arkham games on PlayStation 4, the Arkham Collection is quite good because it includes Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, the Premium Edition, so you get all the additional content. That is a tremendous deal for all the content that you're getting. The one that I enjoyed the most was Arkham City, but you're getting 3 terrific games here. Arkham Knight got a bit of flack for its Batmobile sections, but even those I thought were pretty decent. Arkham Knight, obviously, from a visual standpoint, looks excellent comparatively to the other two, but the other two still look pretty good combat-wise. They're all very good games. I do think Arkham Knight has the weakest of the 3 stories, but it's still very, very good. At $9 for 3 great games, easy pickup here. Definitely a good buy, especially from a value standpoint. Next up, we have A Plague Tale: Innocence, which is 75% off for $9.99. Now, it should be noted, this game was recently a PlayStation Plus title for PS5 owners. I believe the PS4 game was not a Plus title, so that is something to note. $9.99 for this game is excellent. This is very much an atmospheric, story-driven game. It's a bleak, dark game that really engrosses you into the worlds and characters very quickly. Sometimes with story-driven games, it takes a little bit of time to pick up. I thought Plague Tale: Innocence did a really good job getting into the thick of things and absorbing you into the world based on its presentation, its music. Elements like that really hook you right out the gate, and for $9.99, it's a great pickup. There is a sequel coming, A Plague Tale: Requiem. That should be out later this year. So now would be a good time, to check out A Plague Tale: Innocence at a great price. Not the lengthiest game in the world, but it gets in, tells you a great story, absorbs you into the world, and then it gets out without overstaying its welcome, so it's pretty darn good. Next up, we have a couple of Telltale games to mention. The Walking Dead, the complete first season, is 60% off for $5.99. Usually, with the Walking Dead games, if I want someone to get into them, I just recommend, like, the complete collection. You can usually get that on sale. I want to say it goes for, like, $24.99 on sale, but I understand that might be a little bit steep of an investment, so why not just start out with the complete first season, which I do consider the best season of the entire Walking Dead Telltale franchise. The complete first season includes all the episodes, and it is an emotional story. Again, you know Telltale games. They're very story-driven, and this one, great main character, very, very good ending. Just can't say enough good things about Walking Dead, the Telltale series. I think I was in, like, high school when this game initially came out, and I played it, and, yeah, I teared up at the end, not gonna lie. It's just a very, very emotional story the whole way through. Just a great game. Highly recommended, and I played this game before I had even watched the Walking Dead television series, and I loved it. Now, I've watched the first 3 or 4 seasons of the Walking Dead TV show, and it's I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I played this before watching the show, and I loved it even then, so $5.99 for it is great. Definitely go check it out. Okay, The Wolf Among Us, 75% off for $3.74. I would actually rank this above The Walking Dead, believe it or not. I think The Walking Dead Season 1 has the stronger ending. We'll see where The Wolf Among Us goes with Season 2, which, by the way, seeing a reveal tomorrow. Thank you, Jeff Keighley, for that one. Wolf Among Us is a tremendous Telltale experience. A fantastic main character in The Wolf, Bigby. Great cast of supporting characters. Wasn't as hot about the ending as I was with Walking Dead Season 1. I know some people that really liked it, but overall, the game is fantastic. A more mature story here as well. $3.74 is a fantastic pickup, and a very easy platinum trophy with these games as well, if you care about that. The Telltale games in general, relatively easy platinum trophies to get. Alright, next up we have Amnesia the Collection, 90% off for $2.99. This includes Amnesia the Dark Descent, as well as Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Machine for Pigs isn't the greatest thing in the world, but Dark Descent is one of the most iconic horror games of all time, and for $2.99 just to get that game I think is quite good, and you'll get a thrown-in Machine for Pigs. If you're a fan of horror games remotely at all, I feel like you owe it to yourself to play the Amnesia titles. Unfortunately, the newer title isn't that great either, so that's a bummer, but Dark Descent was at a very high level. Obviously, it shows its age a little bit, but I still think for this price, $3, it's worthwhile to go back and give it a shot. Next up, we have EA's Unravel, 75% off for $4.99. Now, I say EA just because it's a little bit ironic that EA would publish a game like this because it's so different than the typical game that I think people would associate EA with. Unravel is a game that obviously the developer poured their heart and soul into. You can go back, and I think a lot of people will remember the reveal of Unravel. Just a very emotional reveal at E3, and I think a lot of people took note of the game. Is Unravel perfect? No. Some of the puzzles are a bit wonky, but it's such a colorful game. The thematics to the game are great, and you're paying $4.99 for it. I think that's a great buy for the game, especially if you're into colorful platformers. It is included with EA Play, so you can play it that way, but if you want to own the game digitally, $5 for it I think is a great buy as well. Next up, I know a lot of you guys played Psychonauts 2, you probably really enjoyed it. Well, Psychonauts 1 is 50% off for $4.99. Obviously, it's not at the level of Psychonauts 2 when you compare them side to side. I don't know, maybe some people think it's better, but Psychonauts 1 came out back in like 04 or 05, and yeah, it shows its age a little bit, but it still has that comedic tone, it still has that great platforming, and it's still a very enjoyable game. Obviously, keep your expectations in line because the game is nearing 2 decades old, but I think if you go into it with an open mind and just accepting it for an old school platformer, I think you're gonna have a great time with it. And again, it has a lot of those thematics that people liked out of Psychonauts 2. So yeah, Psychonauts 1, $5 for that, pretty good buy. Psychonauts 2, definitely a game you should check out, just goes for a little bit more of an expensive price point still at this game. Next up, we have Kingdom Come Deliverance, the Royal Edition, which is 75% off for $9.99. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of the most underrated RPGs in recent memory. It's a more of a historical RPG with some more realistic elements, but it has a really solid story. The visuals are good. Performance isn't the greatest thing in the world, but it runs well enough, and I do think it's a good game to get into if you do want a more realistic RPG with historical themes. This edition also includes all the DLC. A lot of the times you'll see the base game go on sale for $7.49. I just think you should always try to pick up the Royal Edition when it comes to KCD because you're paying $2.50 more and you get a ton of DLC content with it. It's like why I'm not recommending The Witcher 3 in this video. Yes, it's $7.99. On the surface, it looks like a great deal, but you should just always buy the complete edition with that. The same can be said with KCD, but it's got a lot of content, and again, with the Royal Edition, you're extending the experience quite a bit. Check it out. It might end up surprising you, and it's one that I think is a bit of an unsung gem. Next up, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, 50% off for $9.99. These days, when you talk about Resident Evil, again, RE2 Remake, Resident Evil Village, but Resident Evil 7 really took Resident Evil back on track. I think it's fair to say that, and for a lot of people, you can point back to Resident Evil 7 as kind of the resurgence of Capcom. Maybe some people will look at like Monster Hunter World, but Resident Evil 7 was a great return to form for Resident Evil. Wasn't hot about Resident Evil 6. I know some people liked it. I wasn't too hot on it, but Resident Evil 7, I thought it really took it back to its horror roots. I thought it brought back that ambiance that Resident Evil was missing for quite a while, and now Resident Evil is doing really, really well, and I think you should go back and play RE7. If you have a VR headset, doubly so. This is one of the better VR experiences you'll have. I had a friend that couldn't make it through the game because it just got a little bit too much, but yeah, I think for any of you guys, I think you'll be able to play it no problem with the VR headset. $9.99, great buy, very good story. Play this, get into Village as well if you haven't played that, because Village is a great game as well, but RE7 is a great pickup in its own right, and much cheaper than Village at this stage of the game, only $9.99. And lastly, excellent buy here. You can make an argument this is an even better deal than Batman. Hollow Knight Voidheart Edition is down to $5.99. That is a terrific deal for Hollow Knight. Obviously, there's a lot of options in terms of high-quality Metroidvanias these days. You can look at a Dead Cells, you can look at XYZ. There's a ton of great ones. Dead Cells is the one that I'm super into these days, but Hollow Knight was a very enjoyable one as well. Fantastic art style here as well. Love the look of the game. It is a little bit more on the challenging side, so that is something to note. The Voidheart edition adds some additional content as well. And for $5.99, if you're remotely into Metroidvanias or you want to get into the genre, this is a really good one to pick up. You know, there's a lot of options for Metroidvanias. Guacamelee is a super underrated one. Dead Cells, again, is one that I really enjoy, but there's a lot of great ones, and Hollow Knight definitely fits among the elite of them. So for $5.99, I think this is a slam dunk easy recommendation. But that is going to do it for me. Again, some people down on this sale. I can definitely understand why, but here's some good deals under $10 if you want to get into Telltale games. Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us, both great pickups. Plague Tale Innocence, if you're looking for a story-driven, you know, darker, bleaker game, that's a good one. Batman Arkham Collection is fantastic. For that price, Psychonauts, for those of you looking for an old school platformer, not a bad pickup either. Unravel for a very colorful platformer. Just some really, really good pickups here, so definitely go check them out. Links to everything in the description box below. That is going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.